Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 2. He changes most of his team, Janusz Michallik, and Man City under Pep Guardiola still make it look easy.
Yes, they do. This was really about coming in and punching in the card, right? A professional type of job, considering what Manchester City are doing at the moment and what's still ahead of them, right? This is, tribalism aside, I suppose, for everybody. This is an extraordinary team on the verge of some extraordinary things that may or may not come. So, yes, they just need, I suppose, Liverpool to beat Manchester United or perhaps beating Chelsea next weekend. They will get the 3 points that they need to win this Premier League, Mark. But of course, all eyes are on, the Champions League, the holy grail for them to some degree against Paris Saint-Germain. And there's still big goals ahead. I mean, this could be, Mark, the greatest season in Manchester City history if they do get all the prizes ahead of them.
Is it the greatest team that Manchester City have under Pep Guardiola, or have there been better?
There's been some, couple seasons ago in that epic battle with Liverpool, what was it, 98, 97 points. That team at times was playing even better, I suppose. But I think if they do win the Premier League, they've won the League Cup, and if they do win the Champions League, it will be the greatest because it is all about trophies. It is all about the way Pep Guardiola has managed this team with so many stars, creating that culture of players buying into it, because it's not so easy with this sort of depth, Mark, right? To kind of convince players that, you're not going to be playing every game, but, the end product is going to be there. That's going to be something that you're going to be proud of maybe 20 years from now.
That's a really good point, because he's got a lot of egos there to keep satisfied. And someone like Sergio Aguero, we'll talk in a second about where he is in the pantheon of greats at Manchester City. But when called upon, he still gets the job done. So wherever he ends up next season away from Man City, what type of player are they getting at this stage of his career in Sergio Aguero?
It's going to be difficult to say because he has played so little. Even today, I mean, I was so glad, and you want to talk about, I was so glad that he did score a goal in today's game, but you could see that obviously the sharpness wasn't there, the quickness, the way he turns, the way he runs. But, I think, it's going to be a big question mark because he virtually didn't play the entire season, but yet the instincts are there. You could see that, right? Even though the ball popped up on him, it wasn't great touch, but then that half volley, the power, how quickly he reacted and pounced on it. It's that predatory instinct that I suppose we all remember. But yeah, it's going to be a tough decision for someone because do you bet on that? Do you bet that it's going to come back consistently? Or do you worry a little bit, Mark? So, but I think it's appropriate that he scored, right? I mean, you can say that, he started it all, Mark, didn't he? Was it 2011-12, that great goal against Queens Park Rangers, of course, and now he may finish on such a high. I didn't think that you could do that. I mean, if they do win the Premier League, and I think they will, that will be 5 Premier Leagues for Kun Aguero. He started it all, and he may just end it on a high note.
It just depends what way you want to look at it, Janusz, because A, he's not played that much this season, so there's not as many miles on the clock as there could have been, but B, he's not played that much this season a lot of the time due to injury. So again, there's a lot to kind of weigh up when you decide to sign him. I kind of touched on it a minute or so ago. When Manchester City, say 10, 20, 30 years time, when the current crop are speaking to their kids and saying, oh, the glory days under Pep Guardiola, we saw David Silva make his kind of final appearance last season. We'll soon see Sergio Aguero, 2 club greats. But how high up is Sergio Aguero when it comes to the greatest over the last decade or so?
An absolute legend. Nobody near him. Nobody near him, really. I mean, because, it is about scoring goals, and he's broken just about every record there is, right? For Manchester City, as I've said, his consistency over that time. I think that's what you have to look at, right? Because as I've said, 2011, 2012, that goal, that epic call that I'm sure you'd be proud of, right? I mean, I think it rings in our heads, and you've had some unbelievable calls over the years. So, you kind of remember that forever. As I've said, it doesn't really matter, which club you support, and 5 Premier League titles, numerous League Cups, of course, Manchester City FA Cups. He's been in the thick of all all of that. And even today, that little bit of a reminder of how great of a goal scorer he has been. So I think he can continue that. And of course, he's going to be, a legend forever, already is. And I hope personally that wherever he ends up, he's going to continue to show us that this past season, was just that, injuries, and he's not done just yet. I think it'll be good for football.
And I want to talk about Pep Guardiola. This season, the hunger was there to win the title back. There's been that hunger since he got to Man City to win the Champions League with City. If he does that, he's going to win the title. If he gets the Champions League as well, where does the hunger come from next season?
Oh, I think he's just wired like that. He doesn't know any better. He doesn't sit and just enjoy what he has done, right? His reaction and reaction of Manchester City to that, superb season that Liverpool had last year was incredible. I mean, last season, were we not talking about Manchester City defensively, how bad they've been, who's going to replace Vincent Kompany, his leadership, and obviously defensively, how great he's been. Look at Ruben Dias. If, we made a case, of course, for Virgil van Dijk being the player of the year in Premier League. Ruben Dias is clearly the player of the year this year amongst everybody, not just defenders, of course, for me. Only 24 goals conceded this season. That's absolutely incredible. How do you prepare for Manchester City? Because I don't know that. If I were opposing manager, how do you prepare for that, right? False nine or not. I mean, everybody playing everywhere. Fullbacks coming inside. It's just nearly impossible. And he's found a way to plug in a player just about in every position, and they all play well in those positions. So I think, you have to look at Pep Guardiola, of course, as one of the greatest. He will be, regardless of what happens this season. But if he was to win, if Manchester City and Pep Guardiola leads them to all those trophies, he's in that upper echelon of just about any manager in the history of our game.
I'm with you, by the way. I think that City team of 2 years ago is one of the best the Premier League has ever seen. But this one isn't too bad either. Janusz, thank you.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.